Greetings all. I'd like to thank you for coming to my channel today, Queen of Ophir. I go by the name of Esther. I am Esther. I am Sarah. I am Leah. I am Deborah. I am the real daughter of Zion. Okay? And I thank you for stopping by or just stopping by to view for a second to see what I'm speaking of, doing this fourth watch. Thank you for coming. Now, last time I left off with a reading from the book of Enoch about the behaviors of our ancestors. And I posted a part 1, part 2, part 3 of that lesson. I wanted to get into speaking about the angels, the sons of heaven. And there were many angels. The Lord has many angels. These angels specifically are called the watchers. And they watch man. That's what they do. They watch man and they report back. So we have some rebellious watchers. And then we have the righteous watchers like, Michael and Gabriel. The ones that were sent to warn Sodom and Gomorrah about the destroying of the two cities, and the ones that came and warned Lot actually to leave the city before the city would be destroyed. So, and then we have the rebellious angels. We have Ahazel, who taught mankind in all species sorcery. And this is why we're dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with in the world today. So, let's get into it. I got some notes that I took here, and I have some scriptures also from the Old Testament that I would like to reference on some things. So, we're going to start at chapter 1, the book of Enoch. The word of the blessing of Enoch, how he blessed the elect and the righteous, who were to exist in the time of trouble, rejecting all the wicked and ungodly. Enoch, a righteous man, who was with God, answered and spoke, while his eyes were opened, and while he saw a holy vision in the heavens. This the angels showed me. From them I heard all things, and understood what I saw. That which will not take place in this generation, but in a generation which is to succeed at a distant period on account of the elect. And that is our time now. This is our time now that he was speaking of then. Who will hereafter tread upon Mount Sinai, appear with his host, and he be manifested in the strength of his power from heaven. All shall be afraid, and the watchers be terrified. The actual rebellious watchers, because they're being held in a place right now, because this is the time that we're living in today. This is the time of their judgment for their disobedience then. Great fear and trembling shall seize them, even to the ends of the earth. The lofty mountains shall be troubled, and the exalted hills depressed, melting like a honeycomb in the flame. The earth shall be immersed, and all things that are in it perish, while judgment shall come upon all, even upon all the righteous. But to them shall he give peace. He shall preserve the elect, and towards them exercise clemency. Then shall all belong to God, be happy and blessed, and the splendor of the Godhead shall illuminate them. Behold, he comes with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon them and destroy the wicked and reprove all the carnal for everything which the sinful and ungodly have done and committed against him. quoted by Jude, verses 14 and 15, the book of Jude. Chapter 3. All who are in the heavens know what is transacted here. They know that the heavenly luminaries change not their paths, that each rises and sets regularly, everyone as its proper period without transgressing the commands which they have received. They behold the earth and understand what is there transacted from the beginning to the end of it. They see that every work of God is invariable in the period of its appearance. They behold summer and winter, perceiving that the whole earth is full of water, and that the cloud, the dew, and the rain refresh it. And then we're going to go from chapter 3 to chapter 7. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that daughters were born to them elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, Come, and let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. I have the definition for progeny because when I see words that I haven't heard of before, I like to look up the definition. So one of the definitions for progeny I found was the organisms resulting from sexual or asexual reproduction, a child or children of a parent or parents was the definition for that word. Then their leader, Samyaza, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. He alone shall suffer for such a grievous a crime because he was their leader. Of these angels, he was their leader. They were all chiefs, but he was the leader. So he was going to catch all the responsibility of their actions, of their disobedience, and their actions were all going to be upon. The Lord was going to charge him with all of their actions. It was all upon his head. But they answered him and said, We all swear and bind ourselves by mutual excretion that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual excretions. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Armon. And that mountain therefore was called Armon, because they had sworn upon it, and bound themselves by mutual excretions. These are the names of their chiefs. Now follow me with these names, because names are different, definitely different. These are the names of their chiefs. Samyaza, who was their leader. Uraka, Baramil, Akabil, Tamiel, Ramuel, Daniel, Akazil, Sarakino, Asel, Armus, Batrel, Anan, Zavabi, Samsavil, Ertel, Terrell, Yamiel, Araziel. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. So these were the chiefs. These were the chiefs, the top angels of all the other angels that were with them. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women, conceiving, brought forth giants. And the women, I just read that, excuse me, whose statures of these giants that the women brought forth was each 300 cubits. These devoured all which the labor of men produced, until it became impossible to feed them. And when they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fishes, to eat their flesh, one after another, and to drink their blood, then the earth reproved the righteous. And when the earth reproved the righteous, is when the Most High brought forth the flood, because he had to cleanse the earth from all the bloodshed and the defilement that the rebellious angels had brought to the earth, to the different species. Chapter 8. Moreover, Ahaziah taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, and the fabrication of mirrors, and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, which a lot of women wear. Bracelets, ornaments, earrings, decorations around our necks, things like that. In our hair, how to decorate our hair, things like that. The use of paint, makeup, beautifying of the eyebrows, how to draw the eyebrows on. The use of stones of every valuable select kind and of all sorts of dyes. Hair coloring, hair scars that are colored, so that the world became altered. And because all of these things was taught to mankind, the world became altered. And the world went in a direction that it wasn't supposed to go in. It was altered because of Ahaziah teaching these specific things that I named, and the sorcery and the divination and all of that. Because now here it is that mankind has learned something and they're using it on each other. And they're literally committing murder using it. And they still, those who follow these 200 angels, they use these things today. What their ancestors were taught, they use these things today. That's why it's important to make sure you're always fully dressed in your spiritual armor, so you will be aware of these attacks and these arrows, because arrows are spells that are shot with the tip of the tongue from one who practices witchcraft, sorcery, and divination, and something to land on you and you not know where it come from, and you think it's something natural when it's really witchcraft. So when you out here moving out about in the world, you need to know Israel. You got enemies out here. You may not be watching, but they watching. Anyways, so chapter 8, number 2. So impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they that transgressed and corrupted all their ways. So let's go back to chapter 1 here. I wanted to reference in the Old Testament with Jacob, and I believe that is the book of Genesis, chapter 35. Yeah, because I got it lit up because I was surprised to read what I had read in there. I had never, I'm still learning, and we're all a work in progress. So I love my Bible, though, because this is not black history. This is Israelite history, and it's beautiful to behold the words of God, put it like that. So Genesis 35, I believe that is Genesis 35:4. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods. Let's do 3. Let's just do 35:1-4. And God said unto Jacob, Arise and go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be ye clean, and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel. And they were changing their garments. So if they had on colored garments, it was okay for them to have on, I guess, these colored garments when they were in the household. But when it was time for man to go be before the Most High, and he would give his sons a vision, they had to come in pureness, in all white. They had to come before the Lord in all white. No piercings, no earrings, no bracelets, no none of that. Because the Lord considered all those things idols. And if he considered all those things idols then, he still considered those things idols today. And then we can look in our households and all we see is idols. And he detests these things as he detests all this sorcery that was taught on the earth. Things and secrets of the heavens that were never supposed to have been known by man. So that's why they said he told his household to also change his garments. They had to put on their all white, their pure garments. Because your Lord God is the holy God. He's holy and he's pure. So he expects you to, when you come into his presence, to be the same way. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all their strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. So, even though they removed these things, they could not even have these things on their person going before the Most High. So Jacob hid them under an oak. So they gave them all their things. Earrings that was in their hand, which was pretty much the earrings. So I can't even wear earrings, and I used to be someone who loved to wear earrings, and I liked all kinds of earrings, but the Lord says no, they are idols. So no earrings for me. I got them all in the box. A pair I had just bought real pretty. I'm not allowed to wear them. So I will be donating a lot of things that I had that was girly. That it was mostly the earrings though. And that's something I cannot wear anymore. So now I'm just in my head coverings, and I will have so many of these in different styles, but I know how to wear them. Right now it's 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm covered, okay? So, let's go back to the scriptures here. So, Amazarach taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots. Amers taught the solution of sorcery. Barkael taught the observers of the stars. Akibil taught signs. Tamil taught astronomy. And Azarel taught the motion of the moon. And men being destroyed cried out, and their voice reached unto the heavens. So all these things that they're taught were and are still abominations to the Most High. He says, the Lord says in the book of Numbers 23:23, there shall be no divination against Israel. And because we were servants of Egypt, the Egyptians was into this kind of stuff right here also. So when we were delivered from Egypt, we came with a lot of these habits. We had a lot of this stuff. And a lot of the tribes still today practice this because their ancestors practiced that, which is another point I wanted to bring you guys to. We need to stop practicing the things. This is my night. This is a shirt that I sleep in, so I kind of cut it right there. But anywho, we need to stop going by what we seen our grandparents do, and heard that our great-great-great-grandparents did, and following behind what they did and what they do, because that's the worshiping of man. That's a transgression. That is a great transgression. I read it from the Old Testament all the way through the end of the Old Testament. Us having habits of following the ways of our great-great-great-grandfathers and great-great-great-grandmothers. That is the worshiping of man. Instead of honoring the commandments of God, we honor the commandments of men. And that's an issue. It's a problem. So, then Michael and Gabriel, Raphael, Suriel, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on the earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, and said one to another, It is the voice of their cries. The earth deprived of her children has cried even to the gate of heaven. So the watching angels, Michael and Gabriel, they're hearing it. So these are the ones, when we cry out and we're praying at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and things are still, the earth is still on whatever side of the planet you live on. The angels, they can hear us when we cry out to them, when we're praying to the Lord and we're praying loud. They can hear us, and they report these things back to the Most High. That's how He knows that we're up doing the watches like we're supposed to be. So, the earth deprived of her children has cried even unto the gates of heaven. And now to you, O ye holy ones of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, Obtain justice for us with the Most High. Then they said to their Lord, The King, thou art Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings. The throne of thy glory is forever and ever, and forever and ever is thy name, sanctified and glorified. Thou art blessed and glorified, the exalted, the Lord, the name of the Lord. And thou hast made all things, thou possessest power over all things, and all things are open and manifest before thee. Thou beholdest all things, and nothing can be concealed from thee. Thou hast seen what Ahazel has done, how he has taught every species of iniquity upon the earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in heaven. So everything Ahazel had taught the world and all these different species were secret things which were done in heaven, in the heavens. So Samayaza also, the leader of the chiefs, had also taught sorcery, to whom thou hast given authority over those who are associated with him. They have gone together with the daughters of men, and have lain with them, and have become polluted. So now these angels are no longer holy, and they're no longer pure, because they've been mating with the women of the earth. Now they are polluted, and have discovered crimes to them. The women likewise have brought forth giants. Thus has the whole earth been filled with blood and with iniquity. With the teaching of all these things, they filled the earth with iniquity. And this is before the flood of Noah. This is why the flood was brought forth, to cleanse the earth of these things. And now behold, the souls of those who are dead cry out, and complain even to the gate of heaven. Their groaning ascends, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. Thou knowest all things before they exist. Thou knowest these things, and what has been done by them. Yet thou dost not speak to us. What on account of these things ought we do to them? Chapter 10. And then the Most High spoke. The great and holy one spoke, and sent Aracellular to the son of Lamech. And we all know who the son of Lamech is. That's Noah. Saying to him, in my name conceal thyself, to hide thyself, And that's why Noah began to build the ark. And just in case a lot of you didn't know, that the Most High had a special forest of a special wood that he put there for Noah to build that ark, saying, say to him in my name, conceal thyself. Then explain to him the consummation which is about to take place. For all the earth shall perish. The waters of a deluge shall come over the whole earth, and all things which are in it shall be destroyed. And now teach him how he may escape, and how his seed may remain in all the earth. And again the Lord said to Raphael, bind a hazel hand and foot, cast him into darkness, and opening the desert which is in Dudale, cast him in there. Throw upon him hurled and pointed stones, covering him with darkness. There shall he remain forever. Cover his face that he may not see the light. And in the great day of judgment, let him be cast into the fire. And that great day of judgment is upon us. This is our time. Restore the earth which the angels have corrupted, and denounce life to it, that I may revive it. All the sons of men shall not perish, in consequence of every secret by which the watchers have destroyed, and which they have taught their offspring. All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teachings of Ahazel. To him, therefore, ascribe the whole crime. So everything that went on the earth of the teaching of the sorcery was put responsible with Ahazel. All of it was laid upon him. To him, therefore, ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also the Lord said, and Gabriel is another one of the watcher angels, but Gabriel did not rebel with the rest of the angels that were named. Or Michael, they did not rebel. Or any of the other Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, they did not rebel. They actually looked down from the heavens and heard the cry of the men and reported it to the Most High. They report everything they hear and see. They can even come down and be present and stand in your room or stand in your house and watch you. Your house, to the angels and to the Most High, there's no roof and there's no walls. There's no roofs and there are no walls, and there are no closed doors, and there are no ceilings. And actually, in the days of old with our ancestors, we didn't have ceilings in our houses, in our tents, in our dwelling places. We didn't have ceilings. So when the dividing of the earth came, and this nation over here, and that nation over there, and that nation is over there, and then they started planting all these trees, the Lord is like, what is being hid? What is being hid? Because when you think about it, what is being hid? Now we got roofs. What is being hid? In the East, they live in concrete houses with tarps that they roll over the top part of the house when the sandstorms come. They don't build their houses with roofs. That's how our ancestors were. We didn't have houses with roofs. I remember when the Most High gave me a vision. And I was a queen. And I had 2 small children. And my husband and my handmaid. And during this day, I looked up and the sky was dark gray. The Lord was angry. He was angry. And I used to always look up, and I still do it to this day. And I'm looking up. He gave me 2 visions of myself, of this same woman. It was me. And I looked up, and there was no roof on our house. And I looked until I could see straight to the clouds, and it was dark and stormy. So he was angry. And we were running in the house. That's how I knew he was angry. But, yes, they have tarps over the top of their houses in the east. They're concrete houses with tarps at the top. So when the desert storms come, or if it just happens to rain, they just roll the tarp out over the top of the house. So, all the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teachings of Ahazel. To him therefore ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also the Lord said, Go to the biters, to the reprobates, to the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offspring of the watchers, from among men, the giants which we call the Nephilims, of the watchers from among men. Bring them forth and excite them one against another, and let them perish by mutual slaughter, for length of days shall not be theirs, because they lacked wisdom. They were just big, dumb giants. They shall all entreat thee, but their fathers shall not obtain their wishes respecting them, for they shall hope for eternal life, and that they may live each of them 500 years. To Michael likewise the Lord said, Go and announce his crime to Samiyaza and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, that they might be polluted with all their impurities. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, bind them for 70 generations. And underneath the earth, even to the day of judgment and of consummation, unto the judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed. Then shall they be taken away into the lowest depths of the fire, in torments, and in confinement shall they be shut up forever, where they are to this day, until their judgment comes, which is bending the corner. Immediately after this shall he together with them burn and perish. They shall be bound unto the consummation of many generations. Destroy all the souls addicted to dalliance and the offspring of the watchers, for they have tyrannized over mankind. Destroy all the souls addicted to dalliance is the word that the Lord uses for the witchcraft, the sorcery, things taught for violence, all of those things. People who enjoy indulging, they enjoy indulging in it. He wants those people destroyed. So, let every oppressor perish from the face of the earth, and let every evil work be destroyed. The plant of the righteousness and of rectitude appear, and its produce to become a blessing. Righteousness and rectitude shall be forever planted with delight. And then shall all the saints give thanks, and live until they have begotten 1,000 children, while the whole period of their youth and their Sabbaths shall be completed in peace. And in those days all the earth shall be cultivated in righteousness, and it shall be wholly planted with trees and filled with benediction. Every tree of delight shall be planted in it. In it shall vines be planted, and the vine which shall be planted in it shall yield fruit to satiety. Every seed which shall be sown in it shall produce for 1 measure 1,000, and 1 measure of olives shall produce 10 presses of oil. Purify the earth from all oppression, from all injustice, from all crime, from all impiety, and from all the pollution which is committed upon it. Exterminate them from the earth. Thus said the Lord. Then shall all the children of men be righteous, and all nations shall pay me divine honors, and bless me, and all shall adore me. The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime. Now what I'm reading here is the ordering of the flood of Noah. All of this, of what I'm reading from 25-27, is the order of bringing the flood forth. This is the order that was given to bring the flood of Noah forth. And the earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, and from all suffering. Neither will I again send a deluge upon it. From generation to generation, forever. So the Lord said, once he sent this forward, he pretty much said that once he sent this flood forward, he wasn't going to send this flood forward again. In those days I will open the treasures of blessings which are in heaven, that I may cause them to descend upon earth and upon all the works and labor of man. Peace and equity shall associate with the sons of men all the days of the world and every generation of it. Chapter 12. Before all these things Enoch was concealed, nor did any one of the sons of men know where he was concealed, where he had been, and what had happened. He was wholly engaged with the holy ones and with the watchers in his days. I, Enoch, was blessing the great Lord and King of peace. And behold, the watchers called me Enoch, the scribe. Then the Lord said to me, Enoch, scribe of righteousness, go tell the watchers of heaven who have deserted the lofty sky and their holy everlasting station. So they had stations and lofty places in the heavens, who have been polluted with women, and have done as the sons of men do, by taking to themselves wives, and who have been greatly corrupted on the earth. For greater is he in me than he who is in the world, and Christ is in me. Glory be to the highest. That on the earth they shall never obtain peace and remission of sin, for they shall not rejoice in their offspring, and they shall behold the slaughter of their beloved, shall lament for the destruction of their sons, and shall petition for every but forever, but shall not obtain mercy and peace. Chapter 13. Then Enoch, passing on, said to Ahazel, thou shalt not obtain peace. A great sentence is gone forth against thee. He shall bind thee. Neither shall relief, mercy, and supplication be thine, on account of the oppression which thou hast taught, and on account of every act of blasphemy, tyranny, and sin which thou hast discovered to the children of men. This is the punishment of Ahaziel, the order which was given to Enoch to give to Ahaziel, and discovered to the children of men. Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled. Let me tell you something about our God. The Lord, yes, he's merciful. He is merciful. but he can also be terrible. You see my face? He can also be terrible and very damn scary. Even into the angels when he judges, you'll know. And you'll know not to try his integrity. Because you think since he talks so calm and so angelic and he comes off the way he does, far from anything else. He is what he shows you. Whatever you show him is what he's going to show you. And they all became terrified and trembled, beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplication, that they might obtain forgiveness, and that I might make the memorial of their prayer ascend up before the God of heavens, because they could not themselves thenceforward address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged. Then I wrote a memorial of their prayer and supplication for their spirits, for everything which they had done, and for the subject of their entreaty, that they might obtain readmission and rest. Proceeding on, I continued over the waters of Badan, which is on the right to the west of Arman, reading the memorial of their prayer until I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions appeared above me. I fell down and saw a vision of punishment, that I might relate it to the sons of heaven, and reprove them when I awoke. And I went to them, all being collected together, stood weeping on Abesaliel, which is situated between Libanos and Sennaser, with their faces veiled. I related in their presence all the visions which I had seen in my dreams, and began to utter these words of righteousness, reproving the watchers of heaven. Chapter 14. This is the book of the words of righteousness, and of the reproof of the watchers, who belong to the world, according to that which he who is holy and great commanded in the vision. I perceived in my dream that I was now speaking with a tongue of flesh, and with my breath, which the Mighty One has put into the mouth of men, that they might converse with it. I rebuke thee, spirit, and I cast you out in the mighty name of Jesus. And understand with the heart, as he has created and given to men the power of comprehending the word of understanding. So as he created and given to me the power of reproving the watchers, the offspring of heaven, I have written your petition, and in my vision it has been shown me that what you request will not be granted you as long as the world endures. So as long as the world endures, the sorcery, the violence, as long as the land endures violence, sorcery, divination, and all of these kind of things, their request will not be granted. And the world started doing those things in those times when they taught it, and the world is still doing it. So now they're just at judgment. Because what they taught was something that the world would never let go of. And the ones that worship them, they're surely not letting it go. So, judgment has been passed upon you, and your request will not be granted you. So they have been judged. From this time forward, never shall you ascend into heaven. He has said that on the earth he will bind you as long as the world endures. But before these things you shall behold the destruction of your beloved sons. You shall not possess them, but they shall fall before you by the sword, the flood. Neither shall you entreat for them, nor for yourselves, but you shall weep and supplicate in silence the words of the book which I wrote. A vision thus appeared to me. Behold, and in that vision clouds and a mist invited me. Agitated stars and flashes of lightning impelled and pressed me forward, while winds in the vision assisted my flight, accelerating my progress. They elevated me aloft to heaven, and I proceeded until I arrived at a wall built with stones of crystal. A vibrating flame surrounded it, which began to strike me with terror. Okay, so we're going to stop there. We're going to stop at chapter 14:10. Now, so as you have what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there at 14. Enoch 14, verse 14. I'm going to stop at that chapter, and I'm going to do a part 2 for the rest of the story of how what the angels were showing Enoch. So, thank you for bearing with me this 4th and 5th hour of watching. I love you all, Israel. Look for part 2.